I was in London at a party last night, so I'm afraid I'm a bit hungover. Wish I could be lying with my head in the toilet like all normal people. New Year's resolution, drink less. Oh, and quit smoking. Oh, and keep New Year's resolutions.
Oh, we can all relate to Bridget Jones, right? After the overindulgence of the holidays, many tried to get back on track with dry January, a month without drinking alcohol. For some, it's easy, but others might need a little help. Dr. Michael Levy, author of Take Control of Your Drinking, is joining us now with some advice on how to be successful. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, how are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, and Happy New Year to you. So let's start off. I know a lot of people do this dry January. What are some of the reasons you might want to try dry January?
Okay, well, alcohol has a subtle way of, at times, kind of capturing those neurotransmitters in the brain. And after a while, alcohol becomes perhaps too much of a priority. It kind of controls you a little bit more than you're controlling it. You know, people fall in a pattern of drinking every day or most every day, and they start questioning, is this really the best thing for me? And they start getting a little bit concerned about your drinking.
Yes, and I know a lot of people probably did overindulge during the holidays, so they think they want to take January off. So if someone decides that's what they want to do, what's the first thing they should do to get started?
Okay, I think a person should really think about their reasons for wanting to do it. Because what happens is, so often a person may make the decision, I need to stop for a while. But in the moment, you know, a day or two or three goes by and they start thinking, geez, I'd like to drink again. And the way to get past that is to really be clear about how come you're choosing not to drink. So to really almost write down reasons why you want to kind of take off a month. You know, whether it's for health reasons, maybe your weight, your energy levels off, you're not feeling so great in the morning. So people really need to be very, very, very clear about the reasons, because in the moment when you start, I really like that drink, they can kind of think it through. And they kind of remember, right, I am choosing not to do this because, and those becauses should be very salient and clear in the person's mind.
Do you have any tips to being successful? I mean, do you recommend maybe asking a friend to do it with you or a partner?
Yes. Yeah, that's a great point. I think it can be so much easier to have a little social support. Maybe your significant other, if you have one, or a friend, kind of it makes it much easier. In addition, let's assume typically there are certain times of the day where drinking may become more paramount, something you really want to do. Maybe you work all day, you come home from work, and it'd be great to kind of break up that routine at night. I call it the bewitching hour. You know, you get home from work before dinner. If you could have a friend, you could talk to a friend, break up the routine, do something with that friend, and really change that pattern. Because if you're just sitting around, I really want to drink, it's going to be harder. So you can just do something totally different. And if you have that kind of social support, it could be really good.
Yeah, try to take your mind off it. So let's say we try it and we have a slip up. We have a drink one night. What should we do? Should we just scratch the whole thing? Should we just start over?
Good point. No, definitely not. Okay. Not to scratch it. It could happen. Okay. So let's assume someone has been doing it 4 or 5 days, doing okay. They slip up. Okay, they have some drinks. Wake up the next day. Okay, I had a slip. Maybe you could learn from it, what was going on at that point. But to try and get back on track, not to beat yourself up. It was certainly better drinking, once over 6 days than drinking every day for those 6 days. So, if someone slips, which could happen, not to be hard on yourself. See if you can learn, understand what happened, and then what you can do differently going forward. Not to say, okay, well, I drank it, that's over. Kind of keep going on, really, and be, learn from it, really. It's an opportunity to really learn how alcohol and you interact together.
So let me ask you this. Is there any good in just cutting back? Maybe only having a glass of wine on the weekend rather than every night?
Yes, absolutely. I talk a lot about helping people, not people with severe alcohol use disorder, but people can learn how to moderate and control their drinking. And a person may decide, let's take off Sunday through Thursday. Maybe I'll drink Friday and Saturday, have 1 or 2 glasses of wine. That's still very positive, great thing to do. That's considered non-problematic drinking. And I would, if a month total absence seems too much, try to do just on weekends for a while. If they've been drinking most every day, great great thing to do. Absolutely.
And what should the goal be here? Because I know a lot of people that try this and then come February 1st, they, drink a whole bottle of wine themselves. It kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Correct. Yeah. I always say, if someone goes for a month, or even, I say come February, okay, they hope they have a look, they see what they've done, how hard has it been? Has it been pretty easy? They're feeling pretty good. The goal would be, okay, did that month, boom, let's go right back. No, it would be more, okay, this feels better for me. Okay, going forward, can they set some rules and parameters in place? Like you mentioned, maybe, something, maybe I'll drink just on weekends. Let's do that for a while. Or maybe a special occasion once during the week, but generally avoid it. I'll drink on weekends. Think about how often you drink and how much you're going to drink when you do drink. So that's really the goal, not just, okay, I quit for a month, did that, let's go right back to where I was going. That does not make sense.
Yeah, maybe you'll keep some of those habits that you established during the past month, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, because alcohol does become a habit and it just takes over. Before you know it, you're just drinking without even thinking about it. So yeah, you step back and say, okay, let me control my alcohol use, basically. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so great advice. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. All right, bye-bye.
Bye. And to find out more about Dry January and Dr. Levy, you can visit his website at drmichaellevy.com.